Hi, my name is Rohit and I come from the college prep school in Oakland. And this is my first milestone for the object tracking robot project. Here are the motors that can be moved upon running a command. So you see they're moving in a forward direction. And yeah, so I'm going to exit out of the program. So now I'm going to explain the hardware and software aspects of this setup. So as far as the hardware goes, this is a Raspberry Pi. It's the main controller of everything. It's the computer, and it is the most important part of the setup. These are jumper cables. The jumper cables connect to pretty much everything. However, I didn't have the right jumper cables, so I ended up having to cut and solder wires, and finally applying heat shrink to secure the insulation. Next, here are the GPIO series ports. The GPIO stands for General Purpose Input and Output, and they're extremely versatile, so versatile that they can connect to pretty much any other electrical component. Speaking of other electrical components, one of them is the motor driver, the L298N motor driver, also known as an H-bridge. This steps up the voltage so that the Raspberry Pi can actually power the motors, because the Raspberry Pi by itself does not have those capabilities. These are the motors, and they're connected to a wheel, so you can actually see it move. Now, the power supply supplies the Raspberry Pi and the motor driver independently. The Raspberry Pi has pretty easy connection since there are ports for both. However, the H-bridge does not. The H-bridge thus has to be connected through a breadboard, which is a prototype. I'm going to solder them later, but as for now, it's a breadboard. And the breakout board connects the micro USB to pins, which connects to the wires in the breadboard, which thus goes to the H-bridge. So now I'm going to move on to the software. The Raspberry Pi, as I said before, is basically like a mini computer that runs on a different operating system known as Raspbian, which is a derivative of Linux. So I had to establish a secure shell network because the two operating systems, Mac OS and Raspbian, are not compatible. This way I can access the command line and create code and access the text editor and edit it. To establish this connection, I actually had to attach an HDMI monitor as well as a keyboard and mouse connected through USB. So now I'm going to explain what I'm going to do in the future. As of now, the motor capability is kind of limited, so I have to improve those commands by making it go backwards and also syncing up to the camera. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi here has firewalls, so that blocks me from connecting wirelessly. That's why I have an Ethernet cable. It's more reliable, but it also has a bunch of weight, so it's hard to carry around. I'm potentially also going to upload a VNC network so I can get a full remote desktop to see the camera, other than just a command line through the SSH. And finally, I'm going to make a chassis to stabilize the robot and make coding easier. So here's the setup, and thank you for listening.